In this video, we're going to be visiting two locations to talk about depositional environments, and they're both near Point Mugu. Point Mugu is located south of Oxnard and technically about west or so of Malibu, and it's along Highway 1, the Pacific Coast Highway. So we're going to be looking at two different depositional environments that are really close to each other, but completely different. So here, first is the Mugu Lagoon, and this is located on Point Mugu Naval Base, so it's not accessible to the public. In fact, there's fencing all along here, so you can't even see this very well. But if from an aerial view, we can really see how much of a lagoon Point Mugu actually is, and we see these characteristics of a lagoon. Let me bring up a diagram here to show you that if this is our lagoon, we see things at Point Mugu like the inlet. We see mud flats, marshes, and Tidal Creek. So let me go back and show you this. This is our inlet right here. These would be those tidal creeks. Here it's quite marshy. Here we have our dunes, and then these features right here are those tidal flats. So we see all of that right here at Mugu Lagoon. Further south is the sand dune. And maybe you've seen this if you've driven up the Pacific Coast Highway and you see this massive dune on the side. And some people climb it and then slide down it. And this is an example of an aeolian deposit, which means that sand has been transported from the wind and creates this dune right along the highway. And it's trapped here because there's some great hiking over here, but this is quite a tall cliff face. And so the sand gets trapped right here in this small cove, and that's how we get the sand dune. Just north of Mugu Rock is Mugu Lagoon. And the word Mugu comes from the Chumash language, which means lagoon. So Mugu Lagoon is located on the naval base, so it's protected. The public can't come here. And because there's so much biodiversity here at Mugu Lagoon, it's used as an indicator for other marshes around Southern California to see how they're decreasing and how they're doing. Some of the things that we see in Mugu Lagoon include estuaries and tidal flats, marshes, and ponds. And there's so much biodiversity here, lots of fish live here. And this is one of those wetland areas of Southern California that while it's disappearing, it's thriving because it's so well protected. Just south of Mugu Rock is the Great Sand Dune. Maybe you've driven past this and wondered, how the heck did it get here? Well, all of this sand came from, where do you think? The beach right across the street. The sand here was transported by the wind, which means it's an aeolian deposit. When we talk about sedimentary rocks, it requires erosion and transport. So the sand here came from the beach and was transported by the wind.